All right, we're here with Reid Ehrisman, director of track and field and cross country here at USF. Last final regular season meet of the year. What are you looking for in this as you guys go to USD Twilight Open?
Well, we're just trying to, after coming off of SDSU last weekend, I think we're just trying to carry some momentum from what we did last week into this week, and just we got some people running some events, just kind of to sharpen things up and to maybe see where they would fall in the conference. We're putting Kat in the 400 today and seeing what she can do in that. Jessica Justin, the same thing, putting her in the 4, see if she can potentially be someone that can score for us. With our jumpers, we're just trying to just, I guess, sharpen up. I don't know at this point in the game if you're going to fix a ton of things as a technical event coach, but it's just keeping the confidence going and keeping people positive and building off what we've been working on so long this whole year. You just want to keep it going, and so there definitely could be some PRs today and some good performances, no question about it, because we're getting to that point in the season where people are rested, people are fresh, people are peaked up, and so definitely could see some peak performances today.
And you brought up Kat. She'll be running the 400 today, like you said, but she's coming off runner-up finish in the pentathlon at the NSIC Championships. Not only does that give you guys 8 points for the team score, but she's going to participate in a bunch of events, I imagine, for you guys.
Yeah, we sat down Monday at our coaches meeting and tried to figure out what she'd be doing, because she hurdles and long jumps and high jumps and can run the 4 and the 2, and what do we put her in the 4x4? And so we're going to have to make that decision and make that call. But yeah, incredible. She had an incredible meet on Sunday. Just a testament of her heart, her dedication, and her perseverance. She had a really good 60-meter hurdle race here in 8:89. That was a season best in the Maltese, and just off of her all-time best. And so we were really excited about that. And then we went into the high jump, and she missed her first 2 jumps at 4:11. And Coach Ernie was there, and Coach Cochran and myself, and we were just, our eyes were the size of golf balls, and we were just on pins and needles with her 3rd attempt. She misses that, we're done, and the meet's over, but Kat, being the competitor that she was, she was just, nerves of steel. It was amazing. I have never, in 10 years of coaching, the stress that was right there. I've been at national meets and national championships and conference meets, but to be in that situation where it all rides on one jump, and she makes it, we move on, she misses, we go home, and she came down and put some smoke on it, and all 3 of us coaches, I think, jumped 5 feet in the air, and Kat gets off the pit, and she's just like, I knew she was going to do it, and just speaks volumes for the type of competitor that she is and how far she's come. If she would have been a freshman in that situation, I can't promise the same outcome, and so seeing her compete on Sunday was huge, and just being shy of her all-time best in the Maltese, even though it wasn't an all-time best performance for her, she just had to fight and fight and fight to be hitting the marks that she wanted to hit, and but just awesome meet for her, awesome meet for our team, 8 points going into the meet, so it was great meet for her.
And then back to the SDSU Indoor Classic, 2 PRs in the men's and women's pole vault with Jagger Grand going 5:23, 17:1. That's got to be really exciting for him as postseason approaches.
Yeah, there was. When we go back and look at our all-time top 10 performances, we had 16 of those. And the most we've had at this point this year has been 12, and so 16 on our team was amazing. We had 3 school records. We had Jason in the 1,000, we had Bobby in the 5K, and then we had Jagger in the pole vault. And so, that what the pole vaulters did. They actually had 6 PRs amongst just the pole vaulters, which was incredible. But that was just a microcosm of what was happening the whole day at SDSU, and just. 16 all-time top 10 performances is just a product of our hard work and the process, and people believing in what we're doing, and good competition, and so that was incredible, and we were really excited coming off that. Jagger's jump is 17:1 3/4. He struggled through that whole competition. I think he took about 12 jumps at competition and almost went out at 16:3, made it on his 3rd attempt, and came back and made 16:9 on his 1st attempt, and then went on to make 17:1 3/4. And Scott and him were back and forth battling, and it was exciting to see Jagger step up and do that. So.
And you've got the men's DMR heading down. They're in Golden, Colorado right now. They're running the DMR tonight, and they've already got it. They top 20 time, but that probably won't get them in. So what's that like for just 4 guys to be together going to try and hit a time?
Well, the conditions are excellent. I mean, it's a 190 track, and it's at altitude, so we get a 24-second conversion. So that's tough. I mean, I hope our guys, the altitude effect doesn't affect them as much. But, Billy and Bobby are 2 guys on that race. They make up 70% of that race. And I wouldn't, if I'm a betting man and putting my money down, those would be guys I'd be putting it on because, I mean, they are 5th-year seniors. They have been in some serious races that have meant a lot. And so, I mean, if I'm a betting man, those guys are going to come to compete, and those guys are going to put it all out there. And, I mean, they're coming to a point in their career where there is no tomorrow. I mean, there is no next year, there is no next season. It is right now, and I think they sense that. And so with Trey and Jace, they just need to go out and run what they did last time. I think Jace went 156 and Trey went sub 50, and so they just need to continue to do that. But again, they're only 30% of that race, and the other 70 comes from the Brockmuller. So, but like I said, I expect good things out of them, especially with that conversion. Coach Watley wouldn't drive 13 hours if he didn't think they could hit the mark to get them in. So.
And then finally, I mean, just like you touched on before, just the last meet before conference. Is there anyone that you've got an eye on that's going to have a big week tonight and then carry that into Thursday and Friday next week?
Well, I hope our jumpers. I think they struggled a little bit last week. I know Coach Ernie was hoping for a little bit more, but they had 15 people in a flight. I mean, that's really hard to be able to keep. I mean, you take a jump and 20 minutes later you take another jump, and this is really hard. And it was a big environment last year, and our jumpers are really young. So I'm looking for them in the long jump to make some improvements and kind of get back to some of their season bests. I'm also, the pole vaulters to kind of keep things going. And, there's some PRs that are hanging out there for the pole vaulters yet, and some kids that are kind of on the fringe with going to nationals or not. And so I think of like a Megan Muller and, like a Chase Jensen, kids that need to maybe hit that next 5 centimeters more to be able to go to the national meet. And so on the track, we have a good slate for the 400 meters on the women's side. We got Savannah and Ashley and Jessica and Kat all in the same heat in the 400, so that'll be really exciting to kind of see where they're at and see, Kat ran a 2:21.800, 5-second PR, so she's in shape, and she's a competitor, so it'll be exciting to see her and Savannah go head-to-head. With Savannah coming off a sub 58 split last week at SDSU, so and then the throwers, they can constantly been hitting close to their PRs and right at their PRs, and I know Coach Wade knows they're on the verge of just making that leap, and they just need the right setting, and so hopefully good things to come. God has extremely blessed this team this year, and it's been a blessing for me to be a part of this team. It's fun to see our kids go out, and one of our goals is to give God the glory, and we do that. And this year more than ever, I've gotten emails from just people saying, "Hey, it's an honor to work with your team." They just see a difference, and part of that is because the humility of our group and what we go out and compete for and who we're competing for, and ultimately that's Christ and it's God, and so it's just a blessing for me to see where this team's come and why they're doing what they're doing, and so that's been really rewarding for me.
Well, thanks for taking the time today, and good luck. You guys are heading off pretty soon, and we'll catch up with you next week before NSIC championships.
Okay, thanks, Eric.